Alright, you're just going to want to break loose your lug nuts and then jack it up. All I'm using in this video is common hand tools that you probably already collected over the years or year of owning a car. Just take your tire off, set it off to the side. Alright, and there's your electric handbrake. Just going to pop off that sensor. You can use, I don't know, you can use anything. Probably use something plastic. I kind of broke something. You're gonna pop off those two bolts. You're gonna use 2 wrenches. Later, I think later in the video I'll show you what size, but just find one in your bag that fits, and just spin clockwise. Once you got the screws loose, you can just take them out with your hands. Those were the 2 sizes of the wrench that I used. Once you got it off, just wiggle the caliper off. It should eventually just pop off. Alright, once you got the caliper off, you're just gonna turn it over. Be careful with the brake line or the rubber line behind it. You're gonna get those 2 screws right there. That 1 and 2. I don't know the name of them. I just call them star Allen keys. Yeah, just turn them clockwise. Once you get the screws off, just wiggle the cap off of the electronic brake sensor. Yeah, you just put that to the side. Then carefully put it in the spot where the line doesn't bend or anything. Just find something to fit in between there, because I didn't have the right fitment, so I just got a flat head that fit right in the middle of it, and then I just turned it clockwise until it can't no more. And right here, it just stopped spinning, so that's all you have to do. Now it's retracted. So before you push back the caliper with the C-clamp, you want to take some brake fluid out to make the job easier, to release pressure out the lines. I didn't have the correct tool, so I just DIY'd it. Got a spray bottle and just started spraying. Now you can put back the electronic brake sensors cap back on. Just reverse. Then get your C-clamp, put it on. And you're just gonna want to slowly screw in the C-clamp, because right now what's happening is the brake fluid is pushing right back into its lines. Alright, now it's just about done. Calipers is fully pushed in. Then you're just going to take out the old brake pads. You want to inspect them. For mine, my rotors on the inside were a little bit higher than the rest, so there was like uneven wear. Every time I would stop, it would just be like or I'm going fast speeds. Yeah, you just want to look at them and examine any different types of wears on the box. It should show all different types of wears and what's the reason about it. Next, you're just going to take those two bolts behind to take the structure of the caliper off. So you can take it off to replace the rotor. If you want to just break them loose, you can use a brake bar, wrench, doesn't matter. I had a wrench and a little bit of elbow grease, got it out. If it's hard for you, if it's rusty, I guess you can use some WD-40, hit it with a hammer. Just keep going at it till it breaks loose. Just spin clockwise. Once you got it out, once you break it loose, it should come out pretty easy. Once that's done, just pop it off. On the rotor, there's one screw holding it in. It's another star. Just spin that counterclockwise. And then once you pop that off, put the screw somewhere where you don't lose it. Then when you take off the rotor, you can just examine anything on both sides. How's the wear? You could maybe assess the situation later on if there's something bigger issues. Once you get the rotor off, just clean up the area. Uh, you don't got to clean what I just cleaned. I was just scrubbing around. But there you can use a brass or metal type of brush and just keep scrubbing off all the rust. Um, Once you get it to your desired cleaning specs, you can just spray brake cleaner all over it. Gets it to a nice finish. Forgot to mention you can put like a drip pan under it so all that liquid can fall into it instead of on your driveway. All I did was just pressure washed it off and clean the area off. Then when you're done cleaning everything, you can take out those brackets, the brake brackets, whatever, clean them out or replace them. The brake pads that I got were way too big. AutoZone didn't have the correct size, so all I did was just clean them best I could and put them right back on. And when you get your rotor, it should have some grease on it. You can wipe it off to be safe, just to preserve it so it doesn't get rusty. So when you put that on, just put back on that small screw clockwise. Once you put the rotor screw on, you can just basically go in reverse from what you did. Put back on the structure for the caliper. When putting these bolts back on, you can put some lacquer, um, to, I guess, to keep the screws in there tight, so any vibration with the vehicle doesn't break them loose. I didn't do it. I just tighten it down. I know there's specs too to how many pounds to tighten it down to, but I didn't do none of that. Just tighten it down, or just tighten it down to what I felt best and was right. Once you got those screws in tight, you can put back on the brake pads. Make sure they're in there correctly. Once that's done, just put back on the brake caliper and make sure it sits right. So put it back on the two screws on the top, using both the wrenches that you used to take it off. And these screws, yes, you can put some lacquer on, but I didn't. Once that's done, you just can blow out the sensor, push it back in, make sure it's in there. Everything looks good, ready to go. Then you're gonna wanna. Right now, it can be. It's probably like a little loose. You can hit the brakes probably 10 times, slowly all the way down. It should pump out the fluid, and then the caliper should just extend just a little bit. Once that's done, you can start painting your caliper if you wish to do so. Once the prep work is done, you can just start the painting. Prep work is key. If you want the job to be the best, your prep has to be the best. What I did was all I was doing was painting what you can see. What I'm pointing at right there, you can paint that with like black or but the same paint that I'm using. It's just so you can prevent rust because later on in maybe 1,000 miles, I don't know, it gets like a rusty look. You can just paint it black to prevent that. I didn't do it. I was just painting the calipers. Um, first coat is not gonna look the best, but try not to slap too much paint on there because then it gets dripping and then it gets messy. But eventually, maybe like 10 minutes in between, do your next coat. Maybe 4 coats, in my opinion, will probably do the trick. I did about 2, um, and it came out perfectly fine. Uh, it looks really shiny. The job looked pretty good. And like, really, who's gonna get really that close to the caliper? Oh, like, oh, you did a good paint job. Yeah. So I just painted what the eye can see, so it came out pretty glossy. Take a little break, then put the tire back on, and then you're basically done with the job. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll just keep uploading every time I have something to do to my car. Thank you for watching.